Hello, Scorpio friends. This is Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my Scorpio December 2022 mini scopes. These are an abbreviated version this month of my usual monthly reports because at the time of recording, we have been affected by Hurricane Ian and are without internet. So I have to keep them short so that I can have an easier time uploading when I find some place to do that. So this is for you if Scorpio is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other placement of Scorpio that you have. What we're going to talk about is part of your astrological picture. If you're a very late degree Scorpio, so November 15th through the rest of the sign, or like 23 degrees or so through the rest of the sign, I additionally suggest you listen to my Sagittarius report. You very late degree Scorpios will benefit from both the Scorpio and Sag reports. If you don't want to have the visual version of this and you're watching on YouTube, you can find the syndicated podcast to get this information in audio version only. Just search on Spotify for Annie Botticelli or search anywhere for Annie Botticelli Astro Kisses. I'm calling the theme of this month for Scorpio, mind-blowing money news, and we are going to go into all the details as to why I'm calling it that. I also want to speak to the sequence of time between October, November, and now into December. If you haven't already watched or listened to my October and November reports, A Perfect Storm, and then A Date with Destiny, I highly suggest you do that because even though here we are in December, the eclipse energies of that time are still very much active. So although we're, the anxiety, the big changes, the big news, most of that has already come in by now from the eclipses in your sign, in your opposing sign. But to really understand and put into context what's happening this month, if you haven't already listened to those reports, it might benefit you because this is a super hot, crazy time of activated change and really destined experiences. So now moving from the perfect storm and the date with destiny, we're stepping into this time of mind-blowing money news because there is so much going on in all of the financial sectors of the Scorpio chart. It's kind of crazy. Besides individual transits, we have other transits that are our aspects that are coming together in beautiful configurations that are activating those points as well. Okay, so let's just take this piece by piece. And there are other things besides your money story that are being activated at this time. If you listen to the other reports, you know that this is a time just enlivened with change on every level and major crossroads and major trajectory shifts. And your life this month might be totally different than it was the month before. So, things are really, really, really happening for Scorpio right now. And my husband is a Scorpio, so I'm watching, the daily report of this in my own household. So it is very, very big. All right. So the first piece of information is that Sagittarius energies light up the second house of money of Scorpio. Okay. So this is going to bring attention to your finances, your spending, your material goals, and your money consciousness. Okay, so these are themes that are coming up now that are all enlivened. And remember that Sagittarius energy is super uplifting and it goes wide rather than deep, so the Scorpio energy goes really deep and then this Sag energy goes for breadth more than depth. So different opportunities, scattered opportunities, multiple opportunities as far as earning money and making the material purchases or the ecological imprint, environmental sustainability, those types of things are really coming up at this time. And the money to do those things might really be flowing. The Sag energies bring optimism and creative solutions and even fun. Okay, so you might be spending money on doing fun things or making plans for the future for that. Now, the next piece is that we do have Mars in retrograde. Mars, between the shadow period, the retrograde, and the post-shadow period, has been in this sustained 8th house flow for you. The 8th house is another money house. It's the shared resources. It's your parents' money, your family money, your spousal money, your earnings, winnings, finding money on the streets, sweepstakes. All of that is super activated, especially from August of 2022 into March of 2023. So there's some kind of storyline that's at play here with how you earn money, how people are giving you money, opportunities to finance your dreams, or you to do that for other people. And note that although we're focused on money here, resources are also enlivened, and it's not just money. It's access to things that you need, period. The energy of the 8th house that is super activated for this extended period of time because of Mars retrograde transit has to do with inner resources and inner riches as well. Just kind of imagine Pluto's energy, because Pluto rules the 8th house, of course, which is Scorpio, and Mars is a co-ruler here. So your co-ruler is retrograde. So this is really teaching you how to redo how you use your energy and to become more efficient, how to become a little bit more disciplined with your emotional space and more directive of your strong emotions to your productivity. And all of that is happening. So Pluto rules this energy of the stuff under the ground. So literally the stuff that you mine, diamonds, metals, any of these things that are very valuable, whether it's, again, materially valuable or otherwise, spiritually valuable. You're going through this process of mining riches on all levels. For people who aren't interested in financial gains, it may come anyway, but this is definitely a time where riches are you have a chance to mine them. And it could turn out to be purely spiritual or additionally spiritual, where you're having insights into your own behavior, the behavior of others, and the spiritual workings, the lesser seen realms are all super activated at this time. Now, some other ways that you're having your money sector accentuated is because Jupiter just recently direct, November 23rd. So here in December, we're only a week into Jupiter finally going direct. That means things that slowed down around July, as of November, now especially into December, are really racing forward. And for Scorpio, this is your house of your daily work and your daily experience. So if you're self-employed, this is your business. If you're in an office space or, with a company, it's the dynamics there. And Jupiter brings opportunity and expansion. So you've got between now and May, massive fuel for your daily experiences to redo how you do your routine, which can include, upgrading. So there's a very strong energy of upgrading your electrical circuits, your spiritual consciousness, your money, your daily experience, your priorities. All of that is in this massive upgrade option. Okay. So sometimes in the process of upgrading, like I'm seeing very clearly again, as whenever you have anything that goes on with your power, your internet, and in this case, just kind of using the example of what I'm walking through here with Hurricane Ian, the electrical systems were under serious duress. And some of the bringing back of the electric has actually involved upgrading and strengthening the electrical systems. But the way that that's looked has been not having power for an extended period of time while all of that got worked out. So this is kind of a good analogy to understand what's happening for Scorpio right now. If certain things are getting all kerflunkled and just like whacked out in incoherence, and if you've gone through just madness and mayhem and just crazy things from these perfect storms in this date with destiny, a lot of it has to do with clearing out the old system that you could not go any further with, and sort of scrapping certain things and starting anew, or really upgrading the systems that you have. Okay, so you're going to be able to channel more light, more energy, more productivity, deeper relationships. Everything is in this process of getting upgraded, and sometimes that process is a little messy. Okay, so that's just something to be aware of. So that's all going on. Then on the topic of the mind-blowing mega money news, we've got aspects with the planet Uranus. Venus, which rules money, in the sign of Capricorn, and Taurus, which is another material sign, having a trine. So all of this energy is activating the money energy because it's in the sign of Taurus, it's in the sign of Capricorn. And this can also come through your partnerships and relationships because the planet Uranus is there for you. So it's being activated in your relationship sector along the fronts of your material gains. So shocking news, secrets coming out, information having to do with somebody close to you can be revealing or the source of this money news and information. So this is happening. We have Mercury trining Uranus, and we have Venus trining Uranus. So all of this is really, really, really active. And we have a lot of other nice aspects this month as well. But I'm just trying to list in a row here all the things that have to do with this money news. So those are, that's a lot. That pretty much encapsulates why I'm thinking that either this news is coming for many of you, or you're getting your sloppy system redo. And, if you see things are getting a little more messy, then just know that sometimes they have to get a little messier before they can get upgraded. And that might be what's going on for you. We do have some aspects to be aware, I call be careful and awareful of this month. The biggest ones really have to do with squares with Jupiter. So Jupiter is moving direct. It's at first in Pisces, and it will get back into Aries. And it's going to square Mercury, then Venus, then the Sun throughout the month. So December 5th, December 9th, December 21st, the days around there, the tendency to overdo, overcommit are going to be very high. And it could bother you for the short term. But if you're committing to things for a longer term, you could get boxed into something that you really don't want to do by saying yes too readily this month. Okay, so just kind of look out for that because the effects of overdoing this month can last for a lot longer than this month. So, just kind of apply some care there. We do have some squares with Chiron, showing that some chironic wounds are going to be rubbed raw or made vulnerable at this time. But of all the signs, Scorpio really tends to do well with that transformation opportunity that comes from, the scab coming off and the healing really being able to occur. So you do have a couple of bumps there. Let's talk about the retrograde storyline this month as well. So just really quick, of course, Jupiter's direct. We talked about that. Things will be racing forward. A lot of things that stalled out in July might start moving forward in a very big way and really push through, especially even through May, from now until May of 2023. Mars is still retrograde, your co-ruler. It could make some frustration come up if you're trying to force things that aren't supposed to be worked with. The big message at this time: don't force anything. Don't force people. Don't bring aggression towards people, even if you think you're defending yourself. For the most part, anything that is like an action of aggression towards someone doesn't tend to work out well during Mars retrograde. Of course, if you're in the moment and defending yourself physically, that could be a different story. But as far as you like taking an action towards somebody, what we want to do for the most part is be more internal and observant, and not taking those types of big actions. Now, certain things are going to light up like crazy, where it's like, wow, all the angels are singing and things are flowing in this certain direction. And when you try to do something, it's like working out. So follow that flow. This is a time now more than ever in Mars retrograde, and with his impending Mercury retrograde as well, that certain things are going to be slowing down. If you try to force those things that are slowing down, you're going to wind up getting frustrated, which is the keynote of Mars retrograde. You can avoid all that by just saying, hey, I see this isn't working right now, but I see this thing wants some energy and it's flowing. So just redirect towards the things that are flowing well. And if there's something you really actually have to do that you can't table, short spurts of activity like microtasking towards these, ends might be more effective than trying to sit down and plow through for a long period of time, because distraction issues are likely to come up with the Mars retrograde in Gemini. From the perspective of Mercury retrograde, we've got a split month. So basically, December 12th on, we go deeper into Mercury retrograde. From December 1st through around the 12th, we're completely clear of it. So, agreements, purchases, those kind of things. If you have to make them in the month of December, you might have more clarity up, in the first week and a half or so, first couple of weeks-ish. Because once Mercury goes into retrograde, things get fuzzy with contracts. You say something and someone, you're playing a serious game of telephone where you say something and it comes out completely wrong to somebody else. And devices and other appliances start screaming for attention and, going kaputs and all of this. The biggest thing to know as the month progresses is that even though it's going to be a high social season, lots of opportunities for connecting with other people and doing things, the more flexible your plans, the happier you will be. The less you commit in pen, And more in pencil, the happier you will be. And the less you schedule, if you can help it, the happier you'll be, because most of the plans that are made from the 12th on especially are going to be called into question and maybe just canceled outright. So, you can save yourself a lot of drama and a lot of eraser use by just kind of telling people, maybe I'll make it, maybe I won't. And the more flexible you leave things for yourself, the more glad you'll be. And the biggest thing is that when you do this, you leave room for last minute magic, which is one of my favorite things about the retrograde time. So Mercury will officially go into retrograde from December 29th through January 19th. And then from the 19th through February 6th is the post-shadow period where it regains strength, at which point that wonderful, brilliant open window of planets going direct and things really racing forward in a big way are going to come. So December is still a really great month to make some headway, to keep taking care of things, especially for the bigger launches, the bigger visions that you might want to bring out in, the February through April timeframe. So in the days around December 7th, the full moon in Gemini, I talked about that's your other people's money, shared resources house. Extra attention there, fullness, completion, fruition, drama, elucidation coming to that shared resources sector. And so look out for that. And then on the days around the 23rd, we've got a new moon in Capricorn. And that is new beginnings for business or work. This highlights your employment. This highlights your short distance travel and devices and transportation sector. And those of you who are super early degrees, like we'll say October born friends, you'll get an extra closer to 1 degree, the more you'll get a kiss from that new moon. And be especially careful in the days before and after and around the 29th when Mercury does its official retrograde thing, because things get a little bit more chaotic during the points where it goes retrograde, it goes direct. But overall, a little bit of a calming down of things for Scorpio at this time, a little bit of integration, and hopefully some really great money news. If you want to have more information about what's going on this month, go to AnnieHelpsYou.com, sign up for my free email newsletter, get written accounts along with links of other materials that I make to help you make the most of this month. My written summary of the month 1 month early is very, very, very detailed. So you might want that. You can go to Annie B Astrology, Annie, the letter B, astrology.com. See my different astrology education options, including my Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Course. If you want to learn astrology and do it for money, I can teach you how to do that. So you can also see that at lumelife.com, Lume life.com. You can see all these links in the notes beneath the video or podcast. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.